newer things we're going to be doing, and eventually we will be going live on YouTube, not only just to be there live, but also for those of you who are on YouTube to ask any questions or have any comments you'd like to add into our Fox 19 at Noon weather show, and eventually all weather shows. So again, we're live on all streaming platforms, also on Roku, Apple TV, all of those. And we've got a lot to talk about. We've got an updated drought monitor that just came in. We're talking about the risk for maybe some stronger storms coming in this weekend, and kind of this up and down pattern with regards to temperatures, humidity, and rain chances. And also looking at the extended forecast going beyond the 7 days. So hi everybody, Meteorologist Ethan Emery here, coming to you live from the streaming center. And let's begin with the drought monitor. The drought monitor just dropped, and we do have an expansion of not only abnormally dry conditions, but also moderate drought conditions. This is to be expected because of, again, just how dry things have been in the region over the last several weeks. So pretty much areas along I-71 in southwest Ohio, and then much of southeast Indiana, under moderate drought conditions. And in a lot of the Fox 19 Now viewing area under abnormally dry conditions, which is a level 1 out of 5. The moderate drought is a level 2 out of 5. And though we have seen some rain, it has been helpful. It hasn't been enough. Now, I do know that the rain that we had seen on Tuesday evening as well as yesterday does help. It's good to have that for the gardens, good to have that for some of the farmers and those of you who are in agriculture, but it's just not enough. And also, I do want to add the data they pull for this. They get the data, they collect the data on Tuesday, they analyze it, and then they publish it on Thursday. When I say they, I mean the folks who operate the drought monitor, the U.S. drought monitor. And so this is actually Tuesday's data. However, they update this once a week on Thursdays. And so we're not alone with this. A lot of areas across the region dealing with abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions. So we desperately need the rain, and we do have rain in the forecast. And actually, it's going to be a few days of rain on our 7-day, and we'll break that down for you here in just a moment. But we'll begin with everyone's favorite, the Muggy meter. And the Muggy meter we have for the next several days is a little bit less of a roller coaster. I mean, it does go up and it does go down, but it's kind of surrounding the days of rain. As you can see, we are comfortable today. Obviously, it feels really nice when you step outside. We got that sunshine, a nice cool light breeze out there. And when I say cool, I don't mean it to be chilly, but it's cool enough compared to what's been pretty humid the last couple of days. But we go into the weekend, and you'll begin to notice an uptick in humidity. Very muggy air going into our Saturday, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. And then Sunday starts off humid, but Sunday we'll see improvement during the afternoon. And we're staying comfortable Monday and Tuesday. Now, middle of next week, I will say the humidity does come back. And that's also because of rain chances. And we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But right now, here in Cincinnati, I mean, it is great. I'm kind of envious for those of you who are working outside today, because today would be a great day to get some of those outdoor chores done. Might try to talk to Steve and convince him to let me off early today. That way I can get on task with cutting some honeysuckle and some brush and stuff on my aunt and uncle's property. But view like this, it's absolutely gorgeous. So we got some puffy fair weather cumulus clouds, and notice that they're kind of flat, and that's a good indication of mild air, a dry day. So when you see these clouds puff up and billow up, that means there's convection to feed those clouds, and we just don't have that. I mean, yes, it's warm, and temperatures obviously in the low 80s, but there's not a lot of rising air, a lot of convection to give us those billowing clouds. Notice they are puffy, yes, but they're kind of flat. That's just because there's not a lot of convection. But nonetheless, though, it is a gorgeous day to get outside. I was going to update the amount of rainfall we had seen yesterday, between yesterday morning as well as yesterday afternoon, but what I can tell you, I didn't update the graphic. That's on me. Just haven't had the chance to get all that updated. But we did see more than a half an inch of rain in some locations, namely over towards the Lunken Airport. They saw just shy of 6/10 of an inch of rainfall there, so quite impressive. And maybe if you have a rain gauge at your home, let me know what you got. I'll be glad to add that in, and Catherine or Steve can show that on the air today beginning at 3 o'clock here on Fox 19. So we'll go ahead and take a pause real quick, take a look at some of the questions or comments we have on our Facebook page. And we'll begin on our Fox 19 Facebook page. Belinda saying the sun is hot. That it is. And you step outside, the air is comfortable. You go into the shade, you feel that breeze. It's kind of that lower humidity. So when I say cool, I said that relatively speaking because I know especially on Tuesday when there was a breeze, it felt kind of like you had a hot air blow dryer. But yeah, when you're out in the sun, definitely feels warm. It's summertime. So thank you, Belinda, for chiming in. Jeff says, well, I guess my cookout and fireworks not going to happen this Saturday. Yeah, if you got outdoor plans Saturday at this point, I suggest maybe having that alternate indoor option because yesterday we talked about the chance of rain and storms Saturday evening. Well, now it looks like it's in the morning and the evening. So any hopes of outdoor plans have gotten smaller and smaller. And again, we'll break down those details here in just a moment. But I do want to point out that I'm live not only for Facebook, not only on the Fox 19 Facebook page, but also on my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. And unfortunately, the only way we can monitor both is I have to do it on my phone. So I'm on my phone right now. I don't mean to be disrespectful, have my phone out while we're having this conversation, but I need to check the comments there as well. And we do have 2 comments on my Facebook page. Got to turn on the audio, otherwise I'm going to hear an echo. John Barney, good friend of mine over in Hillsboro. Not in Hillsboro. John says, hold on the fort and direct some good weather to Myrtle Beach. I know it's quite hot there. My friends down in South Carolina, they were dealing with a lot of heat index values in the triple digits yesterday, I believe. Lawrence Burns says, Burnsy watching. Thank you for joining us. And then my Meemaw, Clarine, says, hello, young man. Hey, hope you're having a good start to your day as well. All right, so we got some more comments on the Fox 19 Facebook page. Rachel asks, what's the severe chances on Saturday? Well, we'll do that right now. This came in earlier this morning from the Storm Prediction Center. Sometimes they issue these things and, we may not always agree on where the location of the risks are. And right now, I think this is actually kind of a good outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Great meteorologists who work at the Storm Prediction Center. They already have us under a slight risk of severe weather for our northeastern counties. Everyone else under a marginal risk of severe weather. And kind of hard to see it with me being in the way, so I'll take this full screen for you. That way you can see that. And the threat right now looks to be primarily damaging straight line winds in addition to very heavy rainfall. So localized heavy rain, damaging straight line winds, frequent cloud to ground lightning on Saturday, and hail. It's a lower end risk. Tornado risk, very low. It's not zero, but it is very low. Rachel, for asking on our Facebook page here. So Saturday, the main threat looks to be straight line winds in addition to heavy rain and lightning. Jeff says, hope it weekends or something. Well, that's something that I noticed today, that it's coming in earlier and earlier, and part of it is kind of this parade of these cluster of storms that move in. We call them MCSs, multi-convective systems, and they've been kind of all over the place. This time of year, when you have this big heat dome, especially further off to the south and west, you tend to get these storms that fire up along the edge of that ridge, and they can be kind of fun to forecast for, very tricky. And if any one of those develops ahead of this front on Saturday, it's going to limit some of those threats in the evening hours. However, right now, there's a lot of questions in terms of what's going to transpire ahead of the front, especially if an MCS were to develop. And so right now, I have the chance being all day because there's a threat in the morning as well as in the afternoon for some perhaps stronger storms. But the threat for stronger storms looks like it could be limited in the afternoon because of what happens in the morning. But as we got to wait for new data as this comes in, and of course we'll update you on that. We got some more comments, people asking about the severe threat. Angie asking about the severe weather threat on Saturday, and I just responded, and so they responded, great news. Rachel asks, what are your thoughts about tornadoes on Saturday? I know you said it's very low, but just my general thoughts. So, like I said, it's a very low threat. If anything were to develop, I think it'd be rain-wrapped, it'd be very weak, just because of the latest update with regards to the clusters in the morning and the evening. So, if anything, it's going to be what we call those weak spin-ups, or very brief spin-ups that come along the leaning edge of the straight lines of the winds. But I don't think they're going to be much of an issue. I don't think they're going to be much of anything right now. But again, I think the bigger thing to keep an eye on is the straight line wind aspect of these storms, in addition to the heavy rain. All right. We had a comment, but it got deleted. And I did not delete it. Anyway, we are now caught up on the Fox 19 Facebook page comments. Since been on that for a moment, take a look at my Facebook page to see if we have any additional comments there. I do not. So we'll go ahead and continue on with this forecast. So again, we do have the risk. There we go, hit the right button. We do have that risk on Saturday for maybe a few stronger storms. Right now as it stands, it's primarily in our northeastern counties over towards portions of including Middletown, Lebanon, Wilmington, Hillsborough, Fayetteville, over towards Owensville, Goshen, Loveland included with this. And the locations aren't super specific. I'm just saying those locations that are within the slight risk. But the greater odds right now for stronger storms does appear to be to our north and east. I'll show you that forecast model data here in just a second. So again, today is Thursday, and we'll take a look at radar and satellite. Of course, we're dry and we are comfortable, but I'm going to zoom this out to show you where this system is located once the computer wants to load. It's running a little slow today, but taking a look right here. We got behind me radar and satellite. Again, things are nice and quiet. The system we're watching is well off to the north and west, over towards Montana. You can see kind of right in here, this system. It's going to make its way up to the Great Lakes region. We're going to get that cold front sagging in with it, and we'll get some storm clusters both in the morning and the afternoon. So, since people are asking about it so much, we'll go ahead and hop right into that forecast model. That's going to show us, again, kind of a messier forecast compared to what we showed you yesterday, because yesterday it looked a lot more defined in terms of the timing as well as the threats, and now it's gotten a little bit messy, and I'll show you here right now. So again, today we're quiet. Friday we're also quiet. I will say Friday, though, if you're going to be outside, the morning, comfortable. The afternoon, not so much. Friday afternoon, we are looking at some thicker cloud cover moving in from the west to the east ahead of this system, and that's going to also bring in more moisture, so more available moisture. And I think I've discussed this before on 19 at Noon. Maybe you haven't seen that, or you're a newer viewer. And usually when you have a drier air mass, now this air mass we have over top of us now, not super dry, but when you have dew points in the 40s and 50s, it takes some energy to build that moisture back into the area. So you might see some folks saying there's a storm chance on Friday. I don't buy it. I think Friday is going to be one of those days where we're looking at the system trying to bring in that moisture, and it's going to take that energy to build that moisture into the region before the rain arrives. So Friday, one of those days where you do see clouds increasing. You're going to see humidity increasing, or I should say feel the humidity increasing. And this is what I'm saying. The models are trying to show rain super early. Some folks are buying that. I don't buy it. It's going to take some of that time for that humidity to build in. We're going to Friday night, though, in the Saturday morning. I do buy this. After 2 a.m., 3 a.m., some cells are going to be firing up, and this is going to be part of the trick of this forecast, because if cells fire off early enough and kind of add a cap to the atmosphere or limiting destabilization, that's going to limit the severe threat, which if that's the case, that's good news. However, we're still going to be under the gun for the threat of some heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds. And this right here looks like the potential for one of those cluster storms I was telling you about at the beginning of this broadcast. And watch what happens with it. It's going to zip its way southward. And there it is. But the front itself is well off to the north and east towards Chicago, over towards Lansing, over towards Gary, Indiana, Champaign, Illinois, down towards St. Louis. And that's going to be, again, making its way through the region Saturday night into Sunday morning. But ahead of the front Saturday, we're going to see more showers and thunderstorms. So it's going to back this up again. So this is Saturday morning. There's that cluster of storms. And that's where the slight risk is right now. It's because partially of this as well as this in the afternoon. But the question is going to be, will this extend further west? Will it create a large cold pool of air and keep the atmosphere capped or stabilized through the day? That we don't know yet, because these things are one of the harder things to forecast for. Very tricky in this scenario. But this model, I actually trusted a lot because it detected that cluster of storms on Sunday for what happened on Tuesday. So again, cluster of storms perhaps on Saturday morning, and then that front, or I should say the rain ahead of the front, moves in Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. And this is where the questions are going to be for the threat of stronger storms. Because with that cluster of storms moving its way southward, what's going to happen here? Will that system cool the atmosphere enough to where it limits our storm development, or I should say rather limit the intensity of the storms Saturday afternoon, or will that cold pool go further east and we get some sunshine and we break that cap? We get some of that instability. If we get that, then these storms that move through Saturday evening, say anytime after 5 o'clock all the way through midnight, that's going to pose the risk for perhaps some stronger storms. So there's still questions. I know some of you out there don't like the uncertainty, but that's part of what makes meteorology so challenging, so interesting to forecast, interesting to get engaged with. It's because it tests your knowledge too. So with this far out, we still have some questions about that cluster of storms further off to the east. But depending on the shift of direction of where that's going to go, we're going to have to keep an eye on what happens Saturday afternoon with a brief lull in the activity. But Saturday evening, nonetheless, we still have the risk for some showers and thunderstorms. We go into Sunday morning. Sunday morning looks drier and drier, but I'm still going to keep a chance, a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm, mainly to our south and southeastern counties. I think this threat is over by 10 a.m., but I'm still going to keep it there just because if this system slows down a little bit, it could generate some more precipitation for the morning hours. But Sunday afternoon, we're dry. This model, it's showing false returns here, and I'm not quite sure why, but that's going to be out of here. I think Sunday afternoon, we're good to go. Any outdoor activities you got planned Sunday, keep them. But no, too, on Sunday, we've got drier air moving in behind, and this is actually a much drier air mass compared to what we have today. And so Sunday morning, it's going to feel a little sticky, but Sunday afternoon is going to feel very pleasant. And in fact, Sunday night, I'm going to say it's a windows open alert. So turn off the AC, give your AC a break. Sunday night into Monday morning is going to be nice and cool. And I'll show you that 7-day forecast as to just how cool we're talking about. But you can see on Monday, that dry air mass right over top of us, keeping things sunny, keeping things nice and dry. And then Tuesday, almost feels like a broken record. Just like last week, we were talking about for this week, Monday dry, Tuesday clouds increase, and then Wednesday we've got the return of scattered showers and thunderstorms. And it's because this front is going along the edge of that ridge, which is off to the south and west, bringing a lot of hot conditions for folks over to the deep south, as well as for areas over towards Texas and Oklahoma, those locations. But Wednesday, we got the return of scattered showers and thunderstorms next week, and that's just way too far out to talk about any kind of details on that. But now I'm going to show you that 7-day forecast, give you a moment to digest that, go over that, and then look at the beyond the 7-day forecast, and then we're going to have to wrap this up because we got now the Natty at 12:30. So here we have it, the 7-day forecast once the computer loads. And as you can see for today, nice. I've actually bumped the temperatures up. We're already at 81. We originally had the forecast of 83. I think we're going to exceed that just because of the fact we had that fog this morning. And so temperatures started off on a little bit of a warmer note compared to what we had in the forecast. And so it's going to allow for the afternoon temperatures to get just a little bit warmer. The light winds, the sunshine, temperatures sometimes can exceed the expectations. We go into Friday, though, we do get kind of hot, a little humid in the afternoon. Morning low is 60, afternoon high of 91. So sunshine in the morning, thicker cloud cover in the evening. And then we head into Sunday, or excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Saturday, scattered showers and storms, I think both in the morning and the afternoon. Questions on the severity in the afternoon right now. The threat is there. We do have that slight risk of severe weather Saturday afternoon. Saturday, I got a high of 90 right now. There are some questions about that. Saturday temperatures might need to be dropped depending on what happens in the morning. But right now, because of that severe threat showing up, I'm going to say we're going to make it into those upper 80s and low 90s right now on Saturday. Sunday, we've got that chance in the morning. I think after 10 a.m., it leaves. We're looking at some sunshine, cooler, drier air in the afternoon. When I say cooler, I should say more comfortable, not cooler. 85 still quite warm. But here is where it's going to feel cooler for sure. 59 degrees Monday morning. I think that's the day where you can turn off the AC, open those windows, get a nice cool, fresh air into your house or apartment or wherever you're living at. Monday, 81, sunshine, a very pleasant day. I think some locations will stay in the 70s on Monday. Tuesday morning, starting off nice in the low 60s, upper 50s. High up to 89, though warm, getting a little bit more humidity in the afternoon. And then Wednesday, scattered showers and storms. And I will say, beyond the 7-day forecast, we are looking at temperatures that are going to remain on the warm side, and we are looking at unsettled weather into the region. Okay, we've got some more comments and questions. We'll keep the 7-day full, that way you can see that, and I'll double check some of these comments. Okay, Chucky's asking, what about Ravenna? I apologize, I'm not familiar with that community, so if you don't mind giving me a more specific location. I'm pretty good. I need to get better with my geography around this region. I grew up in this region, but some of the smaller communities I may not know as well. So Chucky, if you don't mind, if you want to know about a certain forecast for a certain location, just let me know where that is, and I'll try to help you out. Justin, what is supposed to be in Upper Arlington, Ohio? Got a state track meet on Saturday, and Dublin, Ohio for the Legends Premier 16U team tournament game on Saturday too. Well, Upper Arlington, the Columbus metro area, kind of the same as us. Although they will have, I believe, that actual lull in activity. So Columbus, kind of similar. We got that chance of showers and storms in the early morning hours, a break, I believe, in the midday, and in the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms as that moisture ahead of the front makes its way through. So Columbus, if you're going to be up there, you might have a break in the activity for the midday and early afternoon, but we are looking at the return of showers and storms in the afternoon for those folks too. Rachel, I have a birthday Saturday. Oh, happy birthday, Rachel. At 2 in Lebanon, it's inside, but driving, how does it look? Around that time, Rachel, that's the time where we're looking at some of those questions about with regards to what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lull in the activity around that time. So if you're driving up towards Lebanon or driving wherever it is in the tri-state, I think 2 o'clock on Saturday, you might be able to drive rain-free. However, like I said, it kind of depends on what happens with that cluster of storms in the morning. Typically, those clusters, they start to form, and then they race. They move really quick, and they extend their way southward. But if it extends further westward, it could mean there could be some lingering showers, mainly for our southern folks, by the 2 o'clock hour. But I think after 3, 4 o'clock, that's when we're looking at the return of storms ahead of that front. There, Rachel. So I think we caught up with all the questions. Okay, we got more questions from Rachel. When you say unsettled, what does that mean? When I say unsettled, I mean we're looking at kind of the garden variety showers and storms, nothing severe when I say unsettled. my terminology, when I say active, that means the threat for severe weather. When I say unsettled, it means kind of just garden variety showers and thunderstorms. All right, we got to wrap this up here soon because we got to make sure that our folks over on the other side of the building can get Now the Natty on the air. We got one additional comment on my Facebook page. Kathy says roller coaster weather, up and down temperatures. Yeah, kind of. It's a cliche saying. I try to avoid it when I can. The humidity and temperature certainly do warrant that term. So yeah, Kathy, you're absolutely right. Okay, we'll begin to wrap this up here soon. So the next 2 weeks, I'll show you that outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And once it loads, here we go. This is the 8 to 14 days. So this is going all the way through the first full week of July. Temperatures are going to remain above normal, and we are looking at slightly above normal precipitation because we do have chances for showers and storms beginning the middle of next week, and we are keeping things unsettled through the following weekend. So for those of you going to any kind of activities or events for July 4th, there is the chance for maybe a pop-up shower or storm. However, it does not look to be as apparent as, say, Wednesday. So got outdoor plans for next weekend, not this upcoming, but the following weekend. I think you can keep them. I think we're looking good. It'll be pretty warm and maybe perhaps humid, but otherwise looks to be pretty good. So that's the 8 to 14 day temperature and precipitation outlook. We're going back on the 7-day, and then we have to wrap this up because I'm knocking on the door to getting our folks upstairs angry. But I want to make sure I answer your questions, so I'm not afraid to do that. So here's the rest of that 7-day forecast. You can see here, again, looking at nice comfortable air for today as well as on Sunday afternoon through Tuesday morning, but then storm chances on Saturday as well as Wednesday of next week. Thank you all so much for joining us here on this Thursday edition of 19 at Noon. Don't forget to tune in at 3 o'clock with meteorologist Catherine Bodak and at 5 o'clock with Chief Meteorologist Steve Forsmeyer right here on Fox 19.